Picture this. You just spent $2,000 on a gaming PC, right? And you decide to boot up Fortnite, you jump into a game, and all of a sudden, you're hitting a measly 30 to 60 FPS, and you know it's not the hardware that's the issue. So today, I'm here to show you guys how I went from hitting those low FPS frames to all of a sudden now hitting over 240 plus FPS, and it's all 100% free. And I'll show you guys with just the click of a button. So guys, we're going to start with something simple. We're going to go to our task manager, so just Control Alt Delete, and right here we're just going to quickly check our CPU and memory usage. So ultimately Google Chrome uses a lot of memory, so a lot of your RAM. For example, I probably don't need this. I can end task. Probably don't need ExpressVPN. I can end task. So simple, small things. And now we can come over to Performance tab. The main thing we're looking out for here, guys, is we're going to come over to our CPU and make sure that our base speed is set at the right speed that we want it to be set at. And then if we come over to my RAM, just want to make sure that it is running at its max megahertz. So guys, I'm going to give you two methods on how you can boost your FPS. First of all, we have Windows 10 Debloat. Now this is the slow and pro method. I wouldn't really recommend it because it's no way near as user friendly, because it requires you launching into PowerShell, and then you have to enter a bunch of code. And quite frankly, there's an even better method that is far easier and a lot faster. So first of all, we want to navigate to Razer's Cortex platform. So once you guys get here, we're going to download the software, and I'll show you guys what it looks like after you've downloaded it. So once you guys have downloaded and you've gone into the application, you want to navigate over to Booster. So over here, it's going to give you a bunch of applications that normally run in the background, and this is exactly what I was talking about with the Debloater software. This is the equivalent of what you would see on Debloater, but it's far more complicated. Whereas here, it makes it a lot easier for you to understand. It will normally pick a bunch of default options, which means that you don't actually need to enter in anything. It'll have clear clipboard, clean RAM. So as soon as you launch any game, it'll do all of these options, and then all of a sudden you'll see a bunch of RAM be released, and then obviously with that RAM freed up, it gives you a better gaming experience. So these are the main options that you should make sure that you have selected. It is the disable CPU sleep mode, enable game power solutions, clear your clipboard, clean RAM, sticky key, disable Cortana, disable telemetry, and disable report problem. Now you can also come down here, and there are other options that you can select from, but just make sure these are selected. So after that, you can come over to speed up. Because I've already optimized it before, I don't need to do it again. So you want to come to speed up and make sure you click on optimize, and then it'll completely optimize your computer and make sure that everything you have running in the background is completely optimized. Now you guys can come over to launcher. So we can go to Booster Prime, and as you can see here, it gives me all the games that I have on my computer, and I can click on optimize now. So when we come over to Booster Prime, the great thing about this, guys, is that I can come and select the resolution that I want. I can choose my display mode, whether it's full screen, windowed, full screen, or windowed. I'd recommend windowed full screen. The greatest thing about this, guys, is that if you want to pick quality, it'll obviously drive all your settings to epic, and then all you gotta do is press optimize, and then all of a sudden you'll have all of these settings applied. If you don't want that and you want higher FPS, you can come to the performance part, or you can just pick however part you want, and as it does it, obviously it'll adjust your optimal settings, which is the greatest thing about this. So let's just say I want to pick performance mode. I will go optimize, and then all I have to do is click start game. And then as you can see down here, guys, it'll show you the amount of RAM released, all the different items that are optimized, whether it was telemetry or Cortana being disabled. This is the main thing about, I mean, look at that, 3.44 gigs of RAM has already been freed up because of those settings that I had enabled. And obviously when I launch Fortnite, everything's going to be slightly faster because of Razer. So that's the main appeal. Now I'm going to give you another option, right? So if you guys have AMD, you want to come over to your Adrenaline software, so come over to gaming. Okay, so first of all, the main one that I have ticked is always anti-lag. That's your main one. If you guys want to have frame gen, you can. It's going to help boost your FPS. Personally, I'm not a fan of frame gen, but just for this instance, we'll do that. If you guys want to use super resolution, you totally can. We can do borderless full screen because you're always going to get a better frame rate. You can also come down and select boost. We can do image sharpening just to help it look better, or we can do enhanced sync. All these different options, guys, are just ways that you can help boost your performance, but in this instance, all I'm going to be doing is having anti-lag enabled, because look, on average I get 264 FPS, which is fine by me because my screen is 240 Hertz. There's no need for me to go above that. And obviously if I kept myself at the frame rate of my monitor, it'll give me a better experience, which is the main thing that you guys need to actually do, is make sure that your FPS is kept to your monitor's resolution. Here we have a side-by-side comparison. We are currently playing on DirectX 12 on 2K resolution at the best settings possible, and as you guys can see on the left hand side, where we haven't optimized anything at all, we're playing at about 50 to 60 FPS at about 15 to 20 milliseconds response time. And after we simply launch Razer Cortex and click optimize, look at that drastic improvement. We are currently at 170 to 180 plus FPS, and our response time has decreased drastically to about 3 to 5 ms. That is a huge improvement, guys. Not only has our FPS improved, so has our response time. So everything is going to be much easier when you play competitive FPS games. And the great thing about the software, guys, is that not only can you use it in Fortnite, you can use it in all your games. And remember how easy it was. We simply click on the game and all of a sudden it optimizes all the best settings possible so that we can see these drastic improvements. So guys, now we're going to drop the resolution down to 1080p, and as you can see, the FPS has tripled. We've gone from a 60 to 80 FPS to all of a sudden hitting 200 plus FPS at full HD, still using DirectX 12, and obviously we can see our frame rate improve drastically, and this is all thanks to using Razer Cortex optimization. The great thing about this, guys, is how user friendly it is. I cannot tell you guys how easy it is and how simple it is to understand. Not only is my Fortnite gameplay going to improve drastically, but all my other games on my PC have now been optimized to the correct settings that they need to be, and I can easily chop and change based on what I'm hoping to experience. Whether I want a more enjoyable FPS where I can play at a more competitive style, or if I want simply a more story driven game with better graphics and all these kind of things, then obviously I can do so easily with just the click of a button. So guys, we're going to switch back to 2K resolution, and we're going to change from DirectX 12 to performance mode. And as you guys can see on the left hand side, where we're not using Razer Cortex optimization, we're still sitting at a comfortable 140 to 160 FPS. But as soon as we use Razer Cortex, we see a staggering improvement in our FPS, where we go even above 400 FPS, and we also see our frame time reduce drastically. And guys, this is how the pros boost their FPS and reduce their input lag so that they have a higher chance of winning their games and getting all those epic clips that we love to see on YouTube. So this is the key, guys. If you want to boost your FPS and reduce your input lag, these are one of the key ways of doing it, and it's simple and it's easy. And not only can you apply it in Fortnite, you can apply it to any of the games, especially your competitive multiplayer games that we all love to play. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and please feel free to ask any questions in the comment section below. I'm here to help, guys. And just remember, if you really want to optimize your gaming experience, just let Razer Cortex do the job for you guys. You don't need to be looking into the scientific research on how to reduce latency and improve FPS. There's always a simple solution, and I'm here to provide them, guys. And also, I am doing a giveaway to all my New Zealand viewers out there, so please feel free, guys, to look at my giveaway video where I go into depth on all the different items that I'm doing a giveaway for. And just remember, guys, I will be doing future giveaways for my international audience out there, because I'm trying to build a community together, guys. So please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.